Religion is something that's very prevalent in our world, and most of the time it's something that's introduced to us as soon as we come through the portal. For some of us, it takes a little longer for it to be introduced as an option into our life, but it's really there to introduce us to the concept of there being a higher power somewhere. Because the controllers of this reality have contracts in place in order to be able to control this reality. There were certain rules that they had to play by. And one of those rules is that all of the answers to the test must be in plain sight. There is no coercion in religion, spirituality. Everything here is voluntary. It's the consequences that are mandatory. But the choice to do is voluntary, okay? And so religion is no different. And so the Matrix introduces us to a form of religion known as organized religion, okay? It's organized religion because, again, this reality is not about right and wrong. It's about control. Organized religion divides people with specific beliefs about specific things into segments so that they can be traceable and identifiable, and we can know what you think based on who you affiliate with. Again, it's all vibratory. It's all energy. Birds of a feather flock together. Those that are resonating energetically on a certain frequency are going to be able to run in packs. And that's just what it is. And so that's the Matrix's way of introducing us, letting us know that there is a higher power. However, not disclosing who that higher power is. And also, within those different religions, there's sets of rules of do's and don'ts, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and concepts of right and wrong that are embedded into our belief system. Okay? And so everybody has been exposed to it on some level. Some people have written it off as if it's not good for you because it's mind control. And there's a lot of validity to that. But that mind control is more so about bringing you into subjection of an authority that you can't see, a higher power that you can't see. And then because you can't see it, you expect that higher power is outside of you somewhere. It never gives you the information that higher power is within you, which is why you can't see it, because you can't see you. When you go to the mirror, you're not looking at you. You're looking at your vessel. You can see into this reality, but you cannot see you. The only way that you can see you is to know you. And so majority of people are looking for their higher power outside of them somewhere. And they're afraid that higher power is there to judge them based on how they experience this matrix. And this all works for the Matrix's favor because it keeps you in a powered down position where you don't rebel and where you adhere to the rules and regulations and the control much more effortlessly, because you have a fear inside of you of a higher power that you can't see. Now, within the Matrix, that higher power that you can't see is the system. And many people have bowed down to that system and are, chattel property of that system and are walking around full of fear, afraid to live, afraid to die, because they're fearful of a higher power that they can't see. It never occurs to them that that higher power is within. And so when you're looking at religion and you're involved in religion, you have to really, really be mindful of examining yourself. God is not Christian. God is not Muslim. God is not any specific sect of this matrix in terms of organized religion. God is all. All. And because God is all, that's everything that is in existence. There is a higher power, a source from whom all things come. And a lot of times we get involved in religion, but we don't understand that we have to maintain the ability to think for ourselves. Because anytime man gets involved in anything, and I say this with the humblest spirit that I can, ego is also interjected into what it is that is being done. And so when ego is injected, it starts to change what could be pure and starts to taint it a little bit with fighting a ghost or majoring in minors or arguing about what's right and what's wrong. All of that is ego. When you're pointing out what's right and what's wrong, and your job is to prove someone wrong or to demean them because they are wrong, that's when it starts getting cloudy. That's when it starts to be turned into a weapon of assault versus love. And many people have the concept that, if someone is not there to make your experience feel good, that they are your enemy. And if they are your enemy, then it is your job to destroy them. But if God is all, then that means that your enemy is actually there at war with you to get you closer to God. That's all your enemy is able to do. If God created your enemy and you, your enemy being against you would be God being against its own nature. Whether it's dark or light, it all comes from one source. And there's levels within that source on that spectrum, that energetic spectrum. So you have the darkness on one end and you have the light. You have the lower vibrations on one end and you have the light. And the lower vibration, the higher ones, the lower vibrations are likened to darkness, likened to devil. The higher vibrations are likened to goodness, light, or God. So it's all one source, but it's in fractions. There are components of the all in everything. And so if your religion has you on an ego trip, it's working against your higher nature. Just because you believe in a higher power does not give you license to be on an ego trip. And many people that are involved in religion use religion as a way to ego trip, to be self-righteous, to we're better than you, we do this, you do that, you're wrong, we're right, we're with God, you're with the devil, and all of those things. Now, that may be very true. But when you use it to be puffed up and you do not have compassion, that's when it becomes a problem. Because it's not always about being right. Sometimes it's about peace. Sometimes it's about learning how to get along with people who see different than you. Sometimes it's about understanding that we all have a root of darkness. Sometimes it's about understanding that we are all vessels. There's vessels of gold and silver, and there's vessels of wood and clay. All those vessels are there to be used. So it's not our job to demean people because they think different than us. And it is our job to recognize that the Matrix is using this as a means of mind control. So the most beneficial thing that you can do with religion is to use it to get you closer to your higher nature. Understand the teachings are not literal. They're metaphorical, allegorical, metaphysical in nature, meaning they're symbolic of something that has a higher meaning than what you're thinking that it is, because this material world is strictly an illusion. It's vibrations of energy at a very slow pace. So it appears to be solid. And everything here is about feeling the experience. So understand that when it comes to who you truly are, it's not based on organized religion. It's based on who you truly are. Who you truly are is spiritual. Not in terms of rituals or traditions, but in terms of being. The second word in spiritual being is being. The second word in human being is being. So a human being is being human. A spiritual being is being spiritual. Understand? Don't allow anything to run your mind. Think for yourself. You can implement principles, if they work for you, of goodness and displaying that goodness into the world. But don't let it start changing your heart and changing your mind to be on an ego trip. Realize that we're all here trying to get to the finish line. We're all walking each other home. Our higher power is not favored of any organized religion or denomination, but loves all, even those that are here to make our experience highly uncomfortable. Peace.